As the night fell, Amora lay on the small bed in the hut Mr. Icom had offered her. She stared at the ceiling, thinking of her mother, her dreams, and the uncertain road ahead. But despite the pain and confusion, a small fire still burned within her. She would not give up. She would sing, no matter how hard life became. Somewhere deep in the forest, her mother wandered, determined to find her daughter before it was too late. The next morning, Amora woke up to the sound of birds singing outside her hut. The melody seemed to call her, lifting her spirits ever so slightly. She stretched and looked around the small space Chinidu's father had allowed her to stay in. It wasn't much, but it was safe for now. Outside, Chinidu was waiting. He had brought more food and a cup of water. His face brightened when he saw her emerge from the hut. "Good morning," he greeted, handing her the water. "I hope you slept well. My father is still wary, but I've convinced him to let you stay a little longer." Amora smiled faintly, grateful for Chinidu's kindness. "Thank you. You've been so good to me." As they sat down to eat, Amora told him more about her life, her love for music, and the pain she had suffered. She hesitated before speaking of her stepfather, her voice cracking as she recalled the cruelty he had inflicted on her. Chinidu listened intently, his eyes reflecting a mix of empathy and anger. "You didn't deserve any of that," he said softly. "No one does." Amora felt a tear slide down her cheek, but she quickly wiped it away. "I just want to be free, to sing, to feel alive again." "You will," Chinidu assured her. "We'll figure it out together." Meanwhile, Neko had not given up her search. After her encounter with the old man in the forest, she returned to the village with his words echoing in her mind. There is something only you can give her to make her way clear. But what could that be? The guilt she carried weighed heavily on her heart. She had failed Amora in so many ways, too distracted by her own life to notice her daughter's pain. Determined to make things right, Neka decided to start by speaking with people in the village. She hoped someone had seen Amora. Her first stop was the village square, where the sounds of children playing filled the air. She approached a group of women sitting by the well, exchanging news and gossip. "Please," Neka interrupted gently. "Has anyone seen my daughter? She's about this tall, has a beautiful voice. I was told she might have been seen singing here." One of the women looked up. "Yes, I remember a girl singing here a few days ago. Her voice was unforgettable, but I haven't seen her since." Neka's heart quickened. "That's my daughter. Please, if you see her again, will you let me know?" The woman nodded, and Neka moved on, her search growing more urgent with each passing minute. Back at Mr. Icom's home, tension was growing. Despite his initial reluctance, Mr. Icom had begun to notice the change in Chinidu. His son was spending more time with Amara, bringing her food, sitting with her for hours in the hut, and talking in hushed tones. Mr. Icom could sense the growing bond between them, and it troubled him. One evening, he called Chinidu into the house. "Chinidu," he began, his voice firm but not unkind. "You know I care for you, but this Amara, is a stranger. We don't know anything about her past, where she comes from, or what kind of trouble she might bring. You must be careful." Chinidu, always respectful of his father, nodded but stood his ground. "Father, I understand your concerns, but Amara is not a threat.